Cheers!
Cheers!
Cheers.
Oh, I got more coffee for me. Wonderful. Okay, can we do this again?
It's okay.
Should I go digital only? Should I go digital modern trade or do I open up?
This time I have the Avaana show. Welcome to this episode of Tech and Tequila, where we interview the smartest founders and funders in India over tequila-based drinks.
And today we're lucky enough to have Anjali Bansal with us, the founder of Avanaa Capital, and who's had a really storied career across a range of companies, from starting SpencerStuart India to TPG, starting your career off in ISRO of all places, and ending up here. We're so lucky to have you today, and thank you for coming.
Cheers!
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 And thank you for drinking coffee while we're having margaritas.
It's coffee with Adam and Maansi. Oh, duh. See? I did the
It's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah, we didn't need tequila for the first.
No, we clearly didn't.
No.
Okay, can we do this again?
It's okay. We can do the cheers.
You have to play this one, right? So, you have to play this one.
I think this is
My
fine.
sister will be happy that we're giving her some, I don't know, branding on the show.
Some PR.
Yeah, exactly. Why not?
Mansi is the partner of Adam on this show, but Sana is the founder of Wedding Brigade, a wonderful wedding planning company. Right.
Stay tuned.
I hope I have redeemed myself.
We
Yeah,
need
that's it.
we need 1% fee on every conversion generated from this.
Yes.
Hello, 1%.
Drop a link in the summary.
1% is way too much.
I think you should create a revenue line out of this.
We're looking
All the
for
funders you get
We
here,
know.
all the companies need to pay us a royalty.
you know what we're looking for? I think VCs can sponsor this, and we can use it as like a. No, VCs won't sponsor it. Well, you can tell us then. Maybe the tequila brands will sponsor us. Why don't we start off by giving us a little bit of maybe a narrative that you maybe have constructed for yourself around how your career is unfolding, because it's very interesting. And you're kind of a late stage entrepreneur in terms of the arc of your career that you started this fund last year. Can you give us a sense of how you think about your career and how you've come up to this point?
I think the career actually is a journey, and it's one of the things that is a parallel stream in life. Work is a very important part of me and who I am. So hence career is not just one thing you do, but it's a series and almost sort of an intersecting, converged web of activities. Avaana is the latest or newest part of that journey. But I started my journey as an engineer. The first professional experience was at ISRO in the remote sensing area lab, which I didn't know what it meant at that time, honestly, as a young graduate trainee who could barely tie her shoelaces and was working in a very, very cool satellite payload design space. I learned enough to know that while I thoroughly enjoy science and technology, it's not what I can do for a living for the rest of my life. So I went off and studied policy, which I haven't had studied, and finance and international finance, and then I joined McKinsey in New York. Did strategy consulting with banks, where I know you worked, Maansi. And then moved back to India in 2013 to work with McKinsey for a bit. Then had my first entrepreneurial opportunity to actually start SpencerStuart. I didn't know the business, and I think it was a very serendipitous, almost accidental event. And this sort of accidental, serendipitous events have been the pattern, if you will, for me. So SpencerStuart was a tremendous experience, starting from scratch, building a business. I became a global partner with them, working around the world. Along the way, got involved in the emerging space of entrepreneurship, VC investing, late-stage investing, and corporate governance. I started serving on 2 large company boards, continued to mentor entrepreneurs on the other hand, got passionate about promoting diversity everywhere. I'm a big supporter of having different diverse points of view, whether it is gender or in fact celebrating the other, whatever the other might be. Then I joined TPG as a partner, did that, and came to the conclusion that I think it's time in India to push forward a different approach to investing, which is how Avaana came about. Avaana is a group of people who believe in working with somewhat early stage but not absolutely startup companies, backing exceptional entrepreneurs and really helping them grow. Investment is only one part of it. So capital is really just one piece of the puzzle that is required to build large sustainable enterprises.
So can you speak about examples of where you've helped companies grow without capital, or what other sort of, I guess, expert advice or product or expertise you bring to the table, other than capital, as you said?
So if you think about any company, what does a company need? It needs strategy, it needs organization and people. It does need at some level, I know it is not cool in the startup world to think about process, but you do need to have some processes to scale, and it needs capital. So when you bring it all together, so I can give you examples of situations where when you define a product market fit, that itself is strategy. So strategy doesn't have to be big, highfalutin, ECJ, ECG. It is very nuts and bolts. What's your business model? What's your product? Who's going to buy it? At what price? So everything that you study in MBA school, or you don't study in MBA, so you don't need to be an MBA to be a terrific founder, but when you spot an unmet need in the market, and you think you can actually service the real customer need or the real need, and build a model around it, that's really what else is needed in addition to that.
That makes sense. And when you were, I guess, creating Avaana and the thesis behind it, how did you go about actually the mechanics of creating a fund? How did you think about the structure, the LPs? How did that come to be? Can you talk a little bit about that process?
That evolved somewhat organically as well. Actually, Avaana started as an idea with a few of us who have spent a few years in business or other professions, saying how do we create a platform that can actually support entrepreneurs? And capital is one piece of it, but what is the other way we can support entrepreneurs? And so we are a group of people who have worked in companies like Unilever, Cadbury's, Tara's, ICICI, HDFC, so the banking space, the consumer space, the regulatory space. So we coalesced as a group, and then India, of course, now has over the last 7 years evolved the alternative investment fund mechanism that is a regulated structure from SEBI. So we set up as an AIF last year. We had some capital commitments from ourselves and some friends and family, if you will, and then we have some wonderful institutional LPs who are supporting us.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the central thesis of Avaana, and help us diagnose a lot of the problems that a company that's raising the A or B and looking to scale, diagnose some of what are the typical challenges that you see companies experiencing, and then why a company might choose Avaana over traditional venture.
Certainly. So most companies, once they've achieved product market fit, actually have very similar sort of challenges, and not all of them will hit every company at the same time. But invariably, there is some combination of the above. So India actually is a fairly large market, so most ideas make sense. But to achieve success and to achieve scale is all around execution. And that execution is what kicks in post-product market fit. And whether you call it Series A, you call it Series A minus, Series A plus, once there is reasonable capital that has been raised, and there is proof of concept, and there is proof of revenue, not yet profit perhaps, that is when I think the hard work really begins. And again, capital is one piece of it. The other piece of it is being very focused on what really is your product and go to market. And that is where Avaana plays a big role, because we bring in a fair amount of operational expertise, long years of experience in building businesses. So all of us who are involved in Avaana have many years of experience of building different kinds of businesses and having tasted our successes and failures, so we bring some of that wisdom and expertise. So the company needs to understand what's product, who's the customer, what channel, what's your go-to market, how do you spend, how much do you spend. And one of the things we see very often, and this is not unique to India, but I guess across the startup ecosystem, is overspending and not always being mindful of the need to manage your finance function, for example. So most companies, startups will not have a CFO, right? So you have a founder who's the CEO, who's the head of marketing, who's the CFO, which is okay. They need to do all of that, but you also need to, for example, keep an eye on the mundane things like that. On the more exciting strategic front is how do you advertise? How do you reach your customer? Is it a digital advertising only? Do you need to go offline? Do you need to be omni-channel? How do you marry the two? How much do you spend and when and where? So I think some of these are very nuts and bolts, nitty-gritty questions. For consumer product companies, it's often a case of should I go digital only, should I go digital plus modern trade, or do I also have to do GT, general trade? How do I think about margins? How much is too much? How much is too little? So I think those kinds of nuts and bolts questions. And then as they continue to grow, needing more capital, whether equity or debt financing. And in the startup ecosystem, typically, till recently, companies have not thought about debt on their capital structure.
Right.
So they have continued to raise equity, and while raising equity in the short term seems cheap, it's actually a very expensive form of capital, leads to dilution for the founders. And we as investors like to see our founders have enough ownership and skin in the game, and be really motivated. So helping them think through what their financial structure should be, finding them sources of capital, really supporting our companies on fundraising. And we are very lucky to have exceptional entrepreneurs that we are working with, and we thrive on their success. So we are happy to support them in anything, whether it's go-to-market, business development, market connections, fundraising, whatever it is. So we rather think of ourselves as a partner to our entrepreneurs than necessarily an investor who shows up and says, show me your MIS. We will ask for that also, but that is only one of the things.
Interestingly, just this past week, Andreessen Horowitz in the US announced a kind of alternative structure where they decided to become an advisory, financial advisory as well. Because they kind of pioneered in the Valley this whole suite of services from sales to product and all different kinds of mechanized support structures for for its portfolio companies. To what extent have you been inspired or have thought through those sorts of mechanics when you've been developing the Avaana thesis and service portfolio?
So I think the Avaana thesis.
No, I was just going to say, in recent case, they were doing it because they wanted to invest in public equity stocks, right? Which is why you would register as a financial advisor to some degree. Is that something that, I guess, also maybe you can answer that question along with Adam's. Is that something that you would eventually want to do with Avaana, considering, helping startups scale, growth stage funding, pre-IPO, and then potentially public?
We shall see.
That's literally what Adam said in your response to me.
Yeah, because she added this question this morning, and I was actually, this is she's going to say this.
Alright, fair enough. Okay, I think this is like a pretty good time for us to get to our truth and tequila round. We have some hopefully contentious questions for you, but kind of sort of refreshing on the rules, which is we're going to ask you a series of questions. If you choose not to answer it, you can have a shot of olive brine, which I hear is not particularly nice tasting.
Unless it's in a martini.
Unless it's in a martini, which it's not. And if you do answer all of the questions truthfully, then unfortunately Adam and I have to take a shot. Fortunately or unfortunately.
Alright.
See, this is Paula. She, like, her eyes burned up. Challenge accepted. She's ready for us.
Good. I mean, we do want to hear
teenagers. I do know the meaning of challenge accepted.
Yeah. Okay, so the first question we like to kick off the tequila round with is, can you tell us why you left SpencerStuart, your first entrepreneurial experience?
Because I came to a point where I wanted to hit the next curve of my learning and growth journey. A wonderful organization. I did not leave SpencerStuart to go to the same field somewhere else. I think the firm had been incredibly kind to me and allowed me to explore a lot of different new professional growth and learning avenues, and it was time for me to move on. I felt very happy to have delivered what I had committed to the global firm to build a robust India and South Asia practice. We were doing extremely well, commercially very successful, and built a solid institutional brand. So I thought it was time to move on and hit the next growth curve.
Fair enough. I feel like that ended up being quite an easy question.
Short for you guys.
Adam, well, we have to answer all of them before
and
then we take a shot.
I don't think that's fair.
Well, that's why we made the rules.
I'll take a shot every time I answer.
No. I think if that was the case, we would most likely be drunk at the end of this round. So, what is the strangest pitch that you've ever received? And you have to name the company.
Well, please describe it in detail.
Yeah.
Well, this morning, actually, as it turns
Okay.
out. I'm walking out of, I was in a meeting, and somebody else who was attending that meeting walked out with me and said, I have to tell you about this company, I also do this, gave me his card, and I said, sure, and I'm waiting for my card. And he starts telling me, so they're actually a digital platform. I said, 50% EBITDA. I said, that's terrific, what do you do? So we are actually a B2C business. They said, what do you do? And so after a series of what do you do, we got to the question really of what the business is. And actually, as it turns out, it could be a very interesting business. So now I don't know the name of the company yet, or I will share it. It could be actually an interesting investment opportunity. I've asked him to send me the
What
business
is
plan.
the
There's a car pitch.
This was a walk from the elevator to the lobby pitch.
An actual elevator pitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, this exists in the real world.
It does exist in the real world.
And may or may not have actually worked, so that's impressive. Kudos to the entrepreneur.
Indeed.
But what was the business? What did it end up being?
It is I don't know yet actually, which is
Oh.
why it is a strange pitch.
Okay, so you never ended up getting it out of it.
No, not really fully.
Huh.
Enough to know there is data involved, they're collecting consumer data from mobile transactions.
Okay.
We find out more.
Taking notes, this mystery seems to be an attractive proposition.
I will share the
Hi.
business plan when I see it.
Excellent.
Is it something you potentially want to start next?
No, I'm taking notes about how to seduce VCs.
Oh, that, yeah, that's true.
This is a great
Adam
tactic.
definitely needs help in that department.
Adam has a big fan following.
I'm
He just has to call all VCs he knows.
That's true.
And I
With your
promise you
help,
they will each write a check.
with your help, I'm sure that he will definitely succeed.
Moving right along.
Who's counting? That was the second question.
That was
That's
the
the
second.
second. That's the second one. That was the second one. You have another VC in the household who was our first guest on Tech and Tequila, Sandeep.
Yeah.
Can you talk about any conflict in terms of chasing the same startup, funding the same startup that you had to resolve on the dining table instead of the boardroom?
We don't have overlapping interest areas, fortunately. So
Really?
even though we were together at McKinsey, we had no overlapping interest areas then, and we don't now. So we are a slightly later stage investor than Sandeep's fund. And so sometimes I think it is synergistic. It's not really a picnic. And God knows we are
Synergistic,
getting other things too.
that's Sandeep gives Anjali leads. These guys are ready for scale.
I see how the lead generation works in Avaana.
Excellent.
Honestly, that's great. Why not use your resources?
A real partnership.
No, but we have kept very clear sort of boundaries because we've got enough to disagree about at home, right? Why should we disagree about work at home?
Fair.
That's hectic.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Great. Alright, so you've been a part of numerous boards. What has been your most favorite board experience?
Very hard to pick.
Well, you can have a shot at on the grind if you want.
So hard to pick. I would say one of the boards where I learn a lot and I continue to be amazed by the entrepreneurial spirit and the execution capabilities delivering. In a very short period of time, in the last 5-6 years, they have actually emerged as the largest 3PL players in India. Certainly the largest e-commerce logistics company, and now going well beyond e-commerce into regular enterprise logistics as well. Very disciplined team, have stayed together, have built the business in an extremely robust way. Very technology oriented, but also extremely quick on execution and very, very good. So I learn a lot there. I thoroughly enjoy being on the board. On the other extreme, if I may, is
Please go ahead.
is Tata Power, which is probably one of the oldest, it is certainly the oldest energy company in India. It's the largest independent energy company in India. And big capex, long-ranging decisions, very complex business, highly regulated. So it's kind of the other extreme. And to me, those are the two kind of poles in my professional life that actually bring a lot of value to what I do in Avaana. So one thing I didn't mention about Avaana earlier is that we are somewhat unique in that we bridge the big company ecosystem. So the ability to connect all our companies to large companies and the big opportunities that exist in corporate India to our companies. So we are the bridge between big companies and entrepreneurial ecosystem.
And is that also potentially related to M&A in the future, considering that the exits in India, just the exit market in general is a little sparse, right? Like there are very few Indian companies who can kind of afford the valuations that a lot of our startups end up achieving. So is that a part of it that eventually?
It's very much a part of our thesis that we will help our companies find the right liquidity.
Right.
It could be through a strategic M&A or a strategic investor which will come into your corporate, and we are very well connected into that ecosystem obviously. Or it could be another financial sponsor, or it could be two startups merging to M&A. So yes, that's certainly part of the thesis.
Right.
Can you talk about a crisis of confidence moment when you were conceptualizing and starting Avaana? As with every kind of entrepreneurial endeavor, there tends to be a couple of those.
I don't think they're over yet.
Talk about the latest or most intense one.
I think the choice when you are a new fund is staying quite disciplined in who we are and who we want to be, and not getting into the temptation of, oh, that's a great deal. So it's not about doing a deal, but it's really about making an investment. And we are conscious that every investor we take on board and every company we partner with is strategically very important to Avaana right now. So I wouldn't say crisis of confidence, because it is a journey, you just keep moving forward. Lots of decisions.
And who is your favorite entrepreneur? Either one who Avaana has funded or potentially someone you funded, as an angel investor.
So it cannot be one.
You have to answer.
It's like asking somebody who, you
Your favorite
have 5
child.
children, which is your favorite child. You cannot say that.
You don't say even though there is one.
No, there is not one.
You can't say that. Oh gosh, Adam is speaking as someone who thinks he's the favorite child.
Well, I have Premashu in the room, so that's an easy one. Premashu is the CEO of Fox.
Lovely. You wanted that
this
answer.
business. So proud of what they're achieving, and they continue to build. There's Falguni and Beta Nair and Naika. I'm a huge fan of what they are doing as well. I mentioned delivery already.
Right.
So now you want me to go on and keep going. There's
No,
we have Motwani and fraternity, who I hope will be a guest with you soon.
That would be great. We'll definitely.
This is like cheating. I feel like she should take a shot.
She has very skillfully answered the question without us forcing her to take the olive bread.
Because I think that means that we have to drink.
No, I do not want to drink the shot.
Hey, we're serious about Tequila. We have to do this.
No, we will. Last.
She has no questions.
We have to pour it out now. We're done. You passed.
Oh, I passed. More coffee for me. Wonderful.
I mean, you can have as much coffee as you want. We unfortunately.
No, we have to do this. Oh.
This engine runs on
I can't have more than that. This you can have the.
What? See? Okay. You could afford us nice 2 small shots, but somehow you decided to pour me a big one and you a small
Well,
one.
clearly you love tequila so much. So, cheers.
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 Why do we do this to ourselves
I
again?
don't know. Normally, we don't have someone who answers all the questions. Unfortunately, now we've had 2 in a row. So, lovely.
Delightful, really.
Need to think about these truth and tequila questions a little bit.
I don't even know what we're asking anymore. We're now off the rails. I think one thing we can piggyback on right out of the truth and tequila round is that in the first part of the interview, we talked about how much you care about diversity, and you're quite an evangelist about promoting diversity of viewpoints and perspectives. Talk about how you make that argument to the companies you work with and the mechanics of it, as well as what the substantive value addition of that strategy is for those companies.
So, we like to think of ourselves as a gender smart fund. It's not a narrow aperture gender lens of only investing behind women entrepreneurs. We do that also. But we bring the notion of diversity and then what is a diversity to all our companies. When I mentioned fraternity and ICA both are led by female founders, but even otherwise, whether it's a delivery or it's a cover fox, we find our entrepreneurs actually incredibly open to the discussion around how to increase the participation of women in the workforce, in their workforce, to increase the representation of women in the leadership teams. And I can reel off statistics around why it is important to have diversity. I mean, there's lots of research over the last 20 years that shows that diverse teams lead to better decisions. This can be in large companies, this has certainly been proven in the boardroom.
And in numbers, in fact, I read somewhere that leadership teams with women have actually ended up showing more profit than non-leadership teams with women over a certain time period. So.
And similarly, boards that have more women on the board tend to drive to better. I don't know whether there is a clear causality, but there's certainly a correlation in better performance, financial performance for the company. So there is value to diversity, and whether it is gender or otherwise. And in this case, in our country right now, the big dialogue is around gender. So we are big proponents of, and also including women-led businesses in the supply chains of large companies.
Great, we definitely support that as a pseudo entrepreneur, I guess I can say. Yes, we both are. Yeah, this is our entrepreneurial venture. Great. Anything else on your mind?
I think a place where I think you can perhaps give a unique sort of slice of advice is that you have companies that are looking for investment from a fund like Avaana that are trying to hit the metrics that say we're ready for scale. And then of course the companies you do end up funding, you have to give them the right set of advice and playbooks to then achieve that scale. How do you handle that conversation about what kind of steps or metrics an entrepreneur needs to hold themselves accountable to in order to say, hey, I'm ready for scale, and then the next step thereafter?
I think the one thing that is it's very hard to put on paper or an Excel sheet is really the entrepreneur's passion, their commitment, and their learning agility. So we often don't think about entrepreneurs as people themselves, right? We think about them as an entrepreneur who has done a startup and raised money.
Collection of data points.
It's a collection of data points, that's it. Whereas for an enterprise to grow, the entrepreneur has to grow individually as a person also. So sometimes we actually, all investors, we have an unrealistic expectation that you take this absolutely driven, hungry, passionate, and somewhat out of the box person who's your entrepreneur, and we expect them to turn into the skilled manager of a large workforce overnight. And it doesn't happen overnight. So the journey from being an entrepreneur to a leader requires some support and mentoring for the entrepreneur also. I think that's one of the things that we do look for. And then the rest of it is business metrics. And business metrics can be worked upon, and you may not always hit your numbers, but certainly you do need the discipline of budgeting and planning well and being optimistic but not over-optimistic.
So, and what would the support look like for someone who wants to go from being a founder to a CEO? When we think about how someone is going from a series or seed funded company to a series B, C, etc. Clearly, the skill set that you need there is immensely different, as you said. So, is there some learning? Do a lot of these founders have success coaches? Like, what does that support look like?
I think some of the founders have very supportive investors. So investors invariably, not everybody around the cap table, but some of them end up playing a mentoring role as well. Otherwise, of late, I'm seeing a very welcome trend that they're adding independent board members to the board. And it's not necessarily for good corporate governance, but really they are advisors who can help the company grow, and sometimes are independent sort of sounding boards to the entrepreneurs also. I think that helps in the personal growth journey, and some of the key things that most good successful entrepreneurs become quickly adept at is hiring the right people and building their team at the right time and not leaving it for people.
That's hard.
That is hard.
Yeah.
To go from being this small, compact, tight team of co-founders to then a larger team, and also handling the co-founder dynamic, which is not always easy.
And always hire smarter, as people say.
Hire smarter. It's the secret of my success for sure. Work with people smarter than me.
That's what we
All my colleagues are smarter than me.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
I don't know if I can say Adam is smart. I just.
Wow, okay, we're going there. Okay,
Yeah.
It's trying to add some drama to the show.
Maansi,
He has a little bit of with the East Coast, West Coast thing going on?
Maansi feels the need that if she doesn't insult me at one point in any interview, I think she feels out of place.
No, not at all. It's because otherwise there's no like fun element to it.
I know.
So it's put on.
No,
But do you really believe that? Do you really believe that concept?
that Adam is not smarter than me. Oh my god, no, I definitely think you're smarter than me. That is
You
sure.
back down, you back down.
I can't make the controversial part after either. Because I do genuinely think that. Otherwise it would be very hard to do anything technical related if I didn't have.
So, who's the tech and who's Tequila?
Yeah, definitely more tech.
I'm also like a little
But you're also more tequila. I guess you're more tech than tequila, and I don't know.
Well, the thing is, Tequila has to be is a hook and a premise, but the discipline and the execution and the focus is still required to actually bring it to the world. And
That's true.
So, I'm going to ask you a tough one, for it.
okay.
Yes, please tell
Who's
us.
your most difficult guest?
Most difficult guest. Who was your Harsh?
Did you do it?
I don't think it was difficult, but he was the most critique at the end.
Oh, right, yeah. He said that we didn't ask contentious enough
He thought we were too easy on him.
Yeah. In fact, two people have said that.
Well, somehow we were definitely too easy.
Yeah, we both. That's true.
Yeah.
We are trying to get more controversial, but clearly it's not working considering all of you.
Yeah, everyone's answering all the
the
questions.
I think you
Yeah.
designed it in a way so that you end up drinking with Tequila.
I think Adam has figured it out.
Yeah.
Honestly, honestly, my design is completely backfired. The intent was opposite. But we have now gone off the rails.
Get the point across. Oh, last shot.
Yeah, the way we normally like to end our interviews was that last shot of advice.
Okay.
So we will have to take a shot, and you'll have to take a pick of mine, and if you have some parting words of wisdom
Yes.
among the many that you have shared with all of us today.
I will have a margarita.
Oh, come on.
I'm good.
Alright. We're gonna get, if we were popular enough, we would get nasty comments about this one. But we're not.
No one has commented on any of them.
I know, that's fine. Cheers. The last shot.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Keep going, keep rocking, ask more difficult questions, and I love tech and Tequila, and you guys are great.
How sweet.
Thank you.
And what about last shot of advice for potential, I guess, people interested in VCs or wanting to raise funds in India?
It will take longer than you think, it will be harder than you think, but it is so worth it to get on the entrepreneurial journey, and do not let your learning muscle wither away. So stay agile, stay passionate, keep learning, and be hungry for information. So
Awesome.
then do what your heart says.
Cheers.
Cheers. Enough said.